Happy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blaine.
And we are the Melanin Mindset.
What's good, everybody, and welcome if it's your first time viewing. Welcome back if you're returning. I'm the Nappy Dreamer.
And I'm Kia Blaine.
And we are
the Melanin Mindset.
Oh. Friend, I think we got it that time. I'm gonna use that.
We definitely didn't get it that time, but whatever.
I feel in my spirit that we got it right. So
I don't know why we won't just record it and have it as a sound and you just push the button.
That's actually a valid ask. And then what are we gonna do? Move our lips and act like we're saying it when it's time?
No, we'll just do like this.
Got it. Okay. So listen, before I do that thing that I do want to give a disclaimer. Tonight's episode might ruffle a few feathers, hurt a few feelings, and even make some people feel a little awkward. So if you have concerns surrounding that, viewer discretion is advised. All right. So listen, if you're not already subscribed to the Melanin Mindset, go ahead and subscribe to the Melanin Mindset by hitting that subscribe button on YouTube, giving it a thumbs up, turn on those notification bells, and make sure you share this with somebody you care about. Find us out on Facebook, The Melanin Mindset, as well as TikTok at The Melanin Mindset. We're on Instagram and Twitter, Melanin Mindset _. And to those people listening out on iHeartRadio, Spotify, or any of those other streaming systems, we love you and welcome to the family.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so friend, I think I did all that I do.
Yeah.
So,
bro, like these allergies are disrespectful. Hey, does anybody out there have allergies? Because literally tears just running for no reason. Why? Anyway. No, Jimmy said nope, we didn't get it.
Nope, you didn't get what?
Well, the Melanin Mindset. No, we were not synchronized.
Whatever. Hello to everyone in the comments section.
Hey, we everybody, come on in the room.
Oh, no, ma'am.
Oh,
go ahead and do that thing you do. No,
okay. Ma'am. So today we are talking about the community. And when I be more specific, we are talking about the melanin community and how they've been showing out these last few weeks, y'all. But we always urge everybody to, be more a community, come together. And so today we're just going to highlight some things historically and what we could do better currently in this community. And, we like a good definition around here. So I took in the liberty of finding the best definition I could find about community. And it is a group of people with a common characteristic or interest living together within a larger society. So if that doesn't describe the Black community, I don't know what else does. Like, we are Black people. That is the thing we have in common. And unfortunately, in America, we have been made a target, ostracized, left aside, given crap. So there is this urge or this need for us to come together and be on one accord. You agree, friend?
I agree 200%.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Yeah. So look, I wanted to highlight some things that we've seen historically bring change to the Black community and to the world as a whole, because the ultimate goal, guys, is to live. Why did I want to say unencumbered? Is that the right word?
And would you like me to look up the definition?
I don't know if that's the right word, but anyway, I always say, like, what was it? Somebody was saying something about their hair. Like, if a white woman said this about their hair, or a non-melanated person said this and like called themselves this, y'all would be mad. I don't think so. I don't think so
either. And I feel like I gave you an example earlier, friend, because the Barbie Girl song, I know Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice is on it right now, but when the Barbie Girl song came out, of course, a few years later, then
you mean that I'm a Barbie girl?
Yeah,
one.
and then
Mhm.
you are really in a singing mood tonight, I see.
I am tonight.
But yeah, so the version that came out shortly after was Pink, and Pink was just like, I'm not your Barbie girl. And it says you can't touch my hair and you can't touch my body unless I say so. I'm not your Barbie, no,
Mhm.
right? And
She was
so
making sure she brought clarity to that.
made things clear. And
Mhm.
like, let's be for real. Yes, there are brown and beige and tan Barbies, but how many of us see
Yeah.
ourselves in Barbie?
No, when we think Barbie, we think blonde hair, blue eyes, like period. Like even
That
though
part.
all the Barbies don't look like that, that is what we associate Barbie
Right.
with.
And so we don't see ourselves in that. We see ourselves, what's her name? Not Skipper. Is Skipper her name? What was her friend's name? Barbie's friend, the black girl. Skipper, I feel like her name was. I
No,
don't know, y'all.
Skipper
I
is the
didn't
little
play with
sister.
Barbies. I
Skipper
didn't.
is I think the little sister. Look, we probably all wrong. I don't know. We don't want the Barbie committee coming for us.
Please don't. Listen, I had a Kenya doll, y'all, so I don't know nothing about the Barbie, honey. So I
Yeah.
grew up with a Kenya doll. But yeah, that. But either way, she came out with a song to kind of fix that and go ahead and set the record straight. And nobody had beef with that. So
Yeah.
I don't feel like just because a melanated female, be her, dark skin or light skin or otherwise, coming out with a song that glorifies and praises her complexion or her walk in life, I don't see
Yeah.
that as a problem.
And I don't know. I don't know if maybe we don't see it as a problem because it also glorifies and helps us see ourselves in a light. But I mean, go ahead, do it. White girl, go off if that's what you want to do. The thing about it, and not to sound, you know, the thing about it is 9 times out of 10, if they came out with it, we probably wouldn't know anyway,
That part.
unless it came across our TikTok page, which it probably won't.
What you mean? It probably will. It
It,
always finds a way on TikTok.
but
It
that's what I'm
always
saying.
finds a way.
That would be the only way we found out about it, because sometimes I just feel like the other community is checking for us a little too hard. I meant to look for it. You said I have it somewhere. I'm gonna find it.
Hmm.
But
I
the
do.
other thing is, like, I just sometimes feel like the people outside of the black community is checking so hard to see what the black community is doing, and I don't feel like the black community is doing the same thing.
Friend, I really
Like,
feel like it's a cross community effort because you
yeah,
already know the crazy argument that's currently going on. And it's like the people arguing the loudest are the people least impacted. So it's
that part.
always the people least impacted that have the loudest voice when it comes to voicing opinions or thoughts about
Mm,
how a conversation should be had.
yeah.
Nah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying. That's facts, It's always the area that is least impacted with the loudest voice, and it just makes no sense.
Just hollering about nothing half the time.
Absolutely nothing. So, friend, get into a few of those points you wanted to make so that
So
we can go ahead
okay,
and
so
dive.
I just wanted to point out and bring up, we love a good we be a whole school over here. We like a good definition and we like a little historical reference. So
Uh-huh.
historically, there have been some major perspectives in the black community showing unity. The first one being the Underground Railroad. Like, sis was like, this how we gonna get out. This is the path. Tell your homies, and we gonna get ourselves free.
We slide.
And just them coming together as a community, it would you gotta think about it. Like, back then, they were basically running for their lives, so they had to keep this under wraps, be quiet about it, and it was almost like that same thing, like people we were talking about gatekeeping before. Like, some people was getting to freedom, and rather than gatekeeping and be like, oh, I'm only gonna free my family or my homies, like, this was a whole movement. The community came together and got themselves up to the north so that they could be free. The civil rights movement. During the civil rights movements, there were peaceful protests, there were sit-ins. It was just the smallest gesture, and just showing you we're not putting up with you treating us like we're not equal, like we're
Facts.
not human, like we're not people. They fought against segregation. That was all of these happened in the 19th century. The Montgomery bus boycott, baby. I didn't realize how long that went on. Because I think about, I live in Philadelphia, and like the people would get mad, SEPTA would go on strike, the buses wouldn't be running. But baby, I don't think it ever lasted more than a couple months. The Montgomery bus boycott lasted over a year.
Yeah.
That means the melanated community came together and said we will not ride their buses under any circumstances for over a year. Like, those are the type of coming together as a community and doing things to make them notice, make them understand, like, as much as we need you, you need us.
Facts.
Okay, because the
March on Washington. Not to cut you off, friend, but you just said as much as you need us, more than we need you. You need us. Because the fact remains.
Now, I said it that way because I really believe that that's what they think.
Oh, okay.
Like, because I really think total opposite. But,
I was gonna say, because
you feel like you saving us, and this old bull crap law talking about teaching how
slavery benefited us.
I got your benefit.
Fred, hold it. That's a conversation right then and there. Okay, put a pin in that one. To the next point.
Another historical moment was the March on Washington for Jobs and Freedom. Martin Luther King, it was estimated that it was 250,000 people, and I feel like it was more. I wasn't there, but I just know it was more. They put numbers on stuff to kind of keep you like, don't get too excited. It wasn't 500,000. It was only a quarter. Whatever. Them pictures look like millions.
They was thick, honey. They was covering a whole bridge.
He brought together people of all races and all backgrounds for civil rights so they could end this racial segregation crap. And like, that was another that was all communities coming together. But it just shows you the impact that coming together as a community can have. The Black Panther Party.
Before you go into that, the biggest stressor, and I think Kanye is a bowl of Fruit Loops, but at the same time, I don't think but so. At the same time, he does make some valid points from time to time. And the fact that when you Google Black Panther, what comes up when you Google Black Panther? I feel like that was a distraction. It does not bring up the Black Panther Party. You have to specifically put in the Black Panther Party.
Oh, and if you put in Black Panther, when the movie comes up, right?
All that comes up is the movie.
Okay.
Yeah, all that comes up is the movie.
So and I feel like that was be specific and say the Black Panther Party.
Period.
But yes, I do like you. I agree with you that it does that for a reason. They stood up for injustice. Like, they were not taking police brutality, like, y'all want to have guns, we got guns too. But they also enriched their community by having free food programs, healthcare programs. They came together in unison to make sure that if there was an education where they were lacking education, that they were able to be educated. Black Lives Matter is a movement that's still going on, fighting against police brutality and systematic racism. Like, at this point, this is so old at this point. Like, I'm like, why do we have to keep doing this? But we have to. And that's the saying. I understand the fatigue of fighting for people, especially when sometimes it seems like the people don't want to be fought for. But you got to look at how it changed our life. Like, we weren't here. Some of us were. I don't know how the ages of our viewers, but we weren't here during the Montgomery boycott, and we weren't here during the abolitionist movement, but we're living in the benefits from those things happening, if that makes sense.
Facts. The Black Panther movement was copied by the government with giving food out, giving assistance out, doing all those services, period. The Black Panther Party was very much so notable for their community efforts and works and giving back monetarily, through food, through, resources to our communities. So that's big facts. The Black Panther Party absolutely played a huge part in setting that structure. Would you say, is that a good term? The structure, like the foundation. Boom, there we go. The foundation for that practice. Who was good?
Hello.
But yeah,
Yeah.
the Black Panther Party is absolutely responsible for that, like 200%.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So I just want to breeze through this part really quick. And friend, you could do this part about the challenges in the community. We never want to focus on that, but we know what they are. I'll do it. Systematic racism, economic equality, criminal justice system over policing, us getting longer sentences than anybody else, healthcare disparities, limited, lack of research on how, like, most of the shut up. So my bookcase is moving. We had a little tremor, that's all. It's good now.
Fan, it's like we miss you and then
housing
don't at the same
inequality,
time.
just to name a few of the challenges we face as the melanated community. But let's talk about these opportunities for the modern melanated community to come together. Right?
Right. You want me to go now?
Yeah, you can go now. I feel like I was on a tangent for a while.
You definitely was on a little tangent, but that's okay because clearly you were very passionate about the components that you discussed.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to make a point to what you were saying, friend, like how you were talking about the healthcare disparities.
Yeah.
That Black women are disproportionately dying in childbirth, and it's crazy because the only thing that separates us is the color of our skin and the quantity of melanin in that skin.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
how is it that it's so disproportionate that Black women are dying by comparison to the non-melanated women?
You know what,
That's the
though,
thing that's stressful.
to play devil's advocate on what you just said.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. Because they say the only difference is the color of our skin. And I honestly think that it's not. There's more to it than that. Like, being as though we came from a different geographic area. The same medicines, we don't have the same medicines that will work for our DNA structure. We don't have the same food that will affect us the same way because of our DNA structure based on where we are geographically from.
Our origin.
So I feel like, they've come up with a way like, okay, this seems to work fine. But then with us, maybe there's something more sensitive that somebody needs to research and figure out why. Why is it?
Honest to goodness,
Right?
my biggest
Maybe little melanated babies need more vitamin K. Who knows?
that part they actually do. Fun fact.
That's what I'm saying.
But
Like,
what I'm saying is that
where
the thing
where
that's
we're-
going back and forth with the non-melanated women and the melanated women is the fact that they are under the impression for some reason. Yes, I do agree. Melanated women, Black women, we are strong beyond measure. You get what I'm saying? Hey there, we are strong beyond measure, and I don't discount that in the least. However, the comparison or the comprehension that a Black woman can handle 10 times more pain than a non-melanated woman is beyond me. You get what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying when I'm making that comment. Like, I know that we are, by our heritage, just that much different. However, just because my skin is brown does not equal I am capable of, or I am potentially going to. You get what I'm saying? Like, where they're saying that we would be more likely to complain of pain to get drugs. Those are the types of things that they say in science.
Yeah. Which is
like
disgusting.
they say that we would complain about pain that doesn't exist, or that we don't experience pain the same way as other people, and that's nuts. Yeah. You get what I'm saying? That's what I mean when I'm like, just because I have more melanin in my skin does not mean.
And what's crazy to add to that? Mm-hmm. A lot of times it be your own daggone people.
That part.
I remember going to the hospital right before I had to get my gallbladder taken out, but the pain I was in was ridiculous. And I remember the nurse in there going, "She all right. She's come on, ma'am, you gotta sit up." And I'm just thinking to myself, like, if I could actually sit up, I'd knock your ass out right now. Because that's how much pain I was in.
That part.
She just was like, "She all right." No, like, you didn't even ask me my level of pain to say that I'm all right. And if I was girl, I would have dragged her. I told the other nurse, I said, she getting on my effing nerves. I'm about to drag her. Give me one more hit of this. What's the stuff they give you for the pain?
It depends. Is it Percocet? You got fentanyl?
Begin with an M. Why can't I think of it?
I don't know.
Girl,
Start
I
with an
can't think
M?
of it. It'll come to me. It'll come to me. It probably don't begin with an M.
Oh,
I'm having old people brain right now.
you feeling away right
Oh
now. So
no,
you
yeah,
want
morphine. It does begin with an
Oh,
M.
morphine. Oh, girl, they
Yes,
had you on morphine?
yes. That's how much pain I was in. When
Jesus.
somebody finally figured it out, they gave me morphine. When that morphine kicked out, I was looking for that nurse, but she was gone. Because I had a few choice words for her.
Oh no. So opportunities in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
Grassroots activism. So grassroots organizations and community-led initiatives play a crucial role in addressing challenges and advocating for change. Through activism, community members can come together, raise awareness, and demand action to bring about positive transformation. So, in
Yeah.
other words, putting your feet to the ground where you stay. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Put your feet to the ground where you stay. In other words, make sure that the efforts you are putting in is not building corporate America, but building your local America, if that
That
makes
part.
sense.
That
Okay.
part. Mm-hmm.
Educational empowerment, promoting educational empowerment. And friend, you said something earlier when you were talking about how about them saying that slavery benefited Black people. Listen, it did
Like,
not
it did
benefit
not
Black
in no
people.
way
We had
whatsoever.
those skills when you brought us here. That's why you brought us here. You didn't bring us here to teach us to work. You brought us here because we were capable of doing the work.
Yeah. It really, like, I can't, and you know, I'm good for playing the devil's advocate. No, there was
You ain't got nothing.
absolutely no benefit for Black people in slavery. Because if there was, then the people who were still in Africa would be so bad. And that's the narrative they teach us here in America. But oh baby, go over there.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to find the same things. You're going to find communities that are thriving and flourishing, and you're going to find communities that's not. There is absolutely no difference. You're going to
Girl,
see the same thing in America
scroll on
that
TikTok
you see
and
there.
you will find.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you scroll on TikTok, you will find that they are not doing as bad as you think they're doing.
Yeah.
Now, are there areas that are like that? But there's areas like that here in America.
That part.
So
I
let's just
wonder
be
if they
clear.
highlighting. They need to. I wonder if the countries over there is highlighting all the homeless people sleeping under the highways in LA, or all the homeless people sleeping everywhere around this country. But in LA, what is thick? The amount of homelessness that's going on in California, and then Atlanta just as bad.
You ain't lying.
But y'all want to show us how they doing so bad over in Africa. And the thing is, a lot of those videos that they show us, those people are finding their communities. They happy as they want to be.
Agreed.
That is their culture.
And they are sufficient.
Yes.
And they are. Now, are there some areas that are dealing a little bit less than? Absolutely. But there's areas like that everywhere. You can't highlight an issue as the situation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's not the story. Economic empowerment, promoting entrepreneurship and supporting Black owned. And y'all, I told you one week, I did say where there was a post saying that if it says Black owned business specifically, I am not shopping there. Because why should the color of the owner have anything to do with where I spend my money? The reason the color of the owner has something to do with where you spend your money is because by supporting that particular individual, you are creating more resources for a particular community.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Just like we shop at not Kmart. I was saying Kmart. Kmart closed, y'all. We shop at Walmart. We at Target. You get what I'm saying? We're at all these big box retailers. We go to Sam's and stuff like that. And we're
just know that you're
them.
building that community. Yes.
Thank you.
You're building that community.
Absolutely. So it's like,
yes, we feel a need to say, help this community, because 9 times out of 10 you're not.
Yeah, because the wealth gap is obnoxious.
You are a part of this community. We're telling you to help.
Yeah, that wealth gap is obnoxious. So with the wealth gap that big, I'm telling you,
which is the next point.
Oh, it is. Girl,
economic empowerment.
That's what I was saying. Shop Black owned. I just read that one. And so shopping Black owned. So yeah, absolutely. That economic stewardship, taking care of your people so that in turn you can be taken care of. Now, that is not isolating one over the other. And please know that's never the message we are sending. However, by supporting your economic surroundings, you have a higher likelihood of being able to get into other economic surroundings. Continue to support where you are. Like, I'm not telling you to go if you have made your way out of the hood, because you know that's the goal for everybody. Like, I want to get out the hood, whatever. You make it out the hood, guess what? There is another level of Black-owned business where you're headed, and continue to support them so they can build you and you can continue to get to your next level, because you won't make it without supporting those that support you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it doesn't matter whether they're black, white, purple, green, or yellow. Support who supports you. And 9 times out of 10, I'm telling you, the people that support you are the people who are walking with you. And usually the people who look like you. So I'm sorry. I feel a type of way about that one.
You definitely did, friend. I was feeling
girl.
that.
Ooh, girl. That one got me in the chest a little bit. I was like, bruh. Because I saw that and I saw it. I'm like,
something so simple that I feel like our people just fight against. For what? And it be us. It be us. Come on, if it say black on and your black tail are not gonna support it, for what reason?
Right.
If it's a quality service and it's a quality product, why would you not support
it? Talk about that political representation, friend.
Increasing Black representation in elected office and leadership roles allows greater advocacy of policies and addressing needs and concerns of the Black community. Now, here's the problem with us in this melanated community. Like, we get somebody in a role where they have political, and then we just tear them apart. Like, we gotta support these people that do step up and go into these political roles. Y'all need to get y'all tails out there and vote. You need to see what these people are actually about and help them. Now, the political arena is definitely lacking melanin. The people who are infiltrating and becoming that representation in office definitely have to do a lot of bending and changing and appearing a certain way so that they can get in that space. But we got to support them once they get there. We have to support them once they get there, and ask for what we want and demand what we want and vote for what we want. You have to understand that the person's role, sometimes you're asking a person to do something they're able to do. Learn. Yeah. I don't know what that was referencing.
Listen, I'll give an example because I had something to say to this point right here. You have to understand, I'm going to put it back on the screen. My bad, Jimmy. So you have to understand the role of the individual. So, of course, we all know that our first Black president, Barack Obama, shout out to Barack. Here we go. One time for the one time. All right. So we all know about Barack Obama and the seat that he filled as president of the United States. But so many people were up in arms because they said that Barack Obama didn't get us reparations. But do you know what else this man did? You really need to do your due diligence and do your research to understand the impact he actually made as a Black man in the position he was in, to be able to pull off what he pulled off, how he got health care for people. And I know some people are like, oh, well, he had health care. We had health care. Like, listen, bro, y'all had health care. Y'all ain't have health care. Okay?
Yeah.
And so it's like he made a dramatic impact in so many areas that we have been trying to bust down spaces, but you discredited him because he didn't get you reparations. Like, let's be for real. Okay? So you have to understand the role and the position that a person is in, and they are in that role to make things better for you as a whole, not to simply pull a trigger on the one item that you are holding on to. Now, do I disagree with reparations? I do not. And if they could go ahead and run me my money, that'd be great. However, the fact still remains, like, you did not understand what his seat as president meant. And you didn't understand what the things was that he did, the impact he made, what that actually meant for us as a people. And I encourage you to look that up. Friend, you see the time before we turn the corner? Yeah. Or you want to hit that last point and then turn the corner?
I just had a quick little point I wanted to say. And like, you know, when I think reparations going to happen, and this kind of just dropped on my mind. When we actually mobilize and start supporting each other the same way we was talking about supporting Black businesses, and we make ourselves our own thousandaires, millionaires, then they're going to try to give us reparations because it's going to seem like a handout, and they'll figure out, oh yeah, if we give them this, they'll keep still, or they'll stop trying to, and I want y'all to know that if they do, y'all better not. You better still support Black businesses. You better still encourage entrepreneurship. And with these people with these degrees and stuff, y'all go out here and make a change.
Amen. One time for the one time. Now, listen, if you didn't already know, I need to remind you, okay? The Melanin Mindset is brand ambassadors for Dianu Apparel. That's right, Dianu.com, link down below. All right, so make sure you are shopping using promo code Melanin Mindset or just simply using that link and saving 15% on your purchases, clearance included. Y'all, we'll be right back. What's good, Mindset family? The Melanin Mindset is thrilled to announce we are the newest brand ambassadors for Dianu Apparel. Dianu Apparel is a Black-owned apparel company that offers trendy African-inspired prints in each and every garment. They're offering our listeners 15% off their purchases just by using promo code Melanin Mindset. There's something for him, there's something for her, and there's even something for the kids. So head right over to Dianu.com using the description link down below, or just simply enter Melanin Mindset at checkout and save today. Oh man, thank you. I'm so glad.
You was muted.
Oh, friend, and it was for the best. It was for the best. Okay? Let me try it again. Run it back. Thank y'all so much for hanging in there with us. We absolutely love and adore you. Make sure you are using that link down below, because whenever you support by purchasing from Dianu, you are supporting the Melanin Mindset. Continue to bring you all some bomb content, okay? So here is Nick and Naya. Aw, wait.
Aw, hey, Nick and Naya.
All right, and make sure you're also shopping at themelaninmindset.com and you are purchasing your Melanin Mindset gear. I'm telling you, become an official MFer that also supports the Melanin Mindset. Do the amazing thing that the Melanin Mindset does, including, but not limited to, bringing you awesome content. I feel like you see where I'm headed with that. Click the link over there in the chat or scan the QR code on the screen. If you have not already, join the MFN Book Club, y'all. Go ahead and join the MFN Book Club. You should absolutely already be in the MFN Book Club on Facebook. And if you'd like to join, I'm going to go ahead and sit that link right there in the top left corner of the screen, and you can scan that at any given time during the rest of this episode. But what we're looking at right now is Tabitha Brown's series of books, including Feeding the Soul, Cooking from the Spirit, and Seen, Loved, and Heard, which is a journal. So join us over there in that group on Facebook, the MFN Book Club, where we are touching in, sharing recipes, sharing food pictures, and sharing different insight and components each and every day. What happened, friend? Why are you on?
I'm reading what Corbin over here is saying. I don't want to say. Oh, you can't hear me?
I don't have an answer for that. Is there something?
Why can't you hear me?
There you go. I'm sorry. This device was speaking. So make sure you all join in the MFN Book Club. All right. So if you haven't, again, I'm going to leave that link right there in the top right corner for you all. The top left corner. I'm sorry. Right there next to Kia, y'all. It's next to Kia. So y'all can scan it and use it throughout the rest of the episode. We can't wait to see you there. Okay. All right, friend. I think I just rambled all. Oh, wait, last one. Sorry, y'all. Forgive me. Make sure y'all are submitting your questions to the Melanin Mindset, because everybody wants an opinion, but everybody doesn't want to hear about it later. So make sure you are submitting to the melanatedmindset at gmail.com, the melaninmindset.com, or slide in that DM, okay? So, friend, go ahead and pick up where you left off.
I don't know where I left off, but because I started reading these comments over here, and this is what we're talking about. I had a bad experience during childbirth with my son, and I remember telling the anesthesiologist he was hurting me, but he insisted that I was not feeling pain. I literally had to tell him to get and continue someone else to do the epidural, and by the time I was done with labor and delivery, I had a spinal leak that I had to go back to the hospital for. What the heck? And I had a similar experience. When after I didn't had enough doggone children, I went to get my tubes tied, and I had all my children natural, so I never had an epidural. So they do a spinal tap, which is similar to the epidural, and they tell you gotta arch your back. So this heifer kept telling me, arch my back, arch your back like a cat. And eventually I got mad and said, well, I'm not a cat. I've never talked to a cat, so I don't know how to arch my back like no daggone cat.
Oh, that's sad. We need a real laugh. I need to get a better laugh than that, y'all.
And
I like,
so after, me arguing with the anesthesiologist, eventually she got it in, and it didn't work. It didn't work. I was like, I can still feel that. Every time somebody touched me, I said, I can feel that. Am I supposed to feel that? And the spinal tap is supposed to make me numb from the chest down. I can still feel that. Next thing I know, I was waking up from the surgery. They eventually just put me to sleep because I guess I was giving them too much. And after that, I just woke up and the surgery was over. But yes, sis, same thing. Like if I'm telling you it hurt, or I'm telling you I can't, or I'm telling, like, believe the person. That's what a lot of this police brutality has been bringing about too. Did you see the one where the guy was in the van and they slammed on the van, and the way the van stopped, he flew into the back of the thing. He was paralyzed from the neck down. They kept telling him get up. They was throwing him around. He said he couldn't move. They didn't believe him. Dragged him in and threw him all around for like he told y'all he couldn't move. Yeah, you guys see that one. I'm gonna show you that one.
I don't need to.
But like, believe, like, we're not invincible, despite the videos that show us doing magnificent things. We're still people. We're still human.
Yeah. There's a story that just came out as well, a story that just broke, that was about a group of police officers called the Goon Squad,
Oh,
called themselves, and
mm,
they were called because there were two black men living with a white woman, and they came and they essayed. Well, I already said that this could offend some people. So they sexually assaulted these men using
mm-hmm,
different toys and things like that. And then
mm-hmm,
they made the man put a gun in his mouth. And they had him, they made him put a gun in his mouth, and they accidentally shot him. And when they shot him is when they immediately started to try to they tried to put some kind of contraband on them to make it look like,
mm,
but they admitted to what they did. So it's not alleged, it happened, and they
yeah,
admitted to it. And the thing that's the scariest of all is how many people had they done it to previously
yeah. Before they actually ended up killing somebody
before
and
they
getting
got
caught.
caught. They didn't kill him, thank God, but at the same time he was severely injured.
Oh my God, that's
Yeah.
terrible. I
So
think my
normally
husband.
after the commercial, we do normally try to switch to a lighter note. And I know that was a
Oh,
little
well, let's
heavy.
go.
Let's get to it, friend. So, how many of y'all seen they clone Tyrone? And I'm gonna just be for real.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Okay,
If you have
spoiler
not seen
alert.
it and you don't want it spoiled, this might be the point where you need to check out.
Yeah, we'll miss you. You
But we
might be
wouldn't want to
encouraged to
spoil
come
it for
back,
you.
but we don't want to spoil it for you.
I don't
So
think
I'm
it's
gonna
too much of a spoiler. But anyway, let's go.
Yeah,
You still
so
gotta watch it.
let's get into it. The question here says another black oppressed movie or no. So if
Yeah.
you've seen They Clone Tyrone, feel free to chime in at any given moment, but we about to go in. So friend, what was your thoughts about They Clone Tyrone? I'm gonna go ahead and let you get yours in before I dive off because I'm
So
going.
you know me, when I watch stuff, I was already just trying to figure out what was going on. I already was certain points. I was like, that ain't real. That ain't real. Like just from the title alone, I was looking for certain things. So I was already ready. Now I did see commentary afterwards. It was talking about, oh hell, here we go, another movie showing oppressed black community and in the hood and such and such and such. But it was so much more to be taken out of that movie than that
Big facts.
and that was my biggest takeaway, was that we don't have to stay, there's no reason that we need to stay oppressed.
Mm. So the
There's
biggest
no
thing
reason.
for me when I watched it, the number one thing was the time period. So they had referenced Bitcoin and Obama, but yet they were
Mm-hmm.
still dressed like it was the 70s. So I had some, spidey senses to begin with. So I'm looking for Tyrone. I ain't gonna lie to you. I look for Tyrone that whole daggone movie only to find him for two
Mm-hmm.
seconds at the end. But I looked for
Mm-hmm.
Tyrone the entire time because I knew something was going on. And then the best part, I'm gonna be for real, I'm a Googler. So I got on Google and I was like, what time period is they clone Tyrone? Because I had
Yeah.
watched a few minutes and I'm like, this is so confusing. No spoilers were found, which is good. But they said
Yeah.
that it is indeed present day. And that's all I
It's
got, was it
present
was
day.
present day. So they put them in this bubble. And this is the systemic situation, and I'm just going to tie it back to where we were at, where we're at present day. So it's like there's a systemic issue going on that we are unaware of 100%. I'm not going to say
Mhm.
we don't know at all, but we're just not 100% aware of it. So there's a systemic concern, and that is where my brain went, like, what is happening and why is this happening? Why are all the store owners non-melanated, and why do these non-melanated people have afros?
Mhm.
And so I said, also, when he went to that door, and I'm like, something's not right about that. But I kind of brushed that one off. You
You talking about
didn't
the
let that
mama?
go. Yeah,
You
you
talking
didn't
about the
let that
mama?
go.
The
Yes, the
first
mama.
time he said, "Mom, you want something to eat?" and she said, "No, baby, I ate down at the church." Such and such. I said, "Ain't nobody back there." I said, "Ain't nobody back there." Their mama know
Listen,
niggas.
I definitely wrote it off. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I heard it, my spidey senses was tingling. But I told you I was on the hunt for daggone Tyrone the whole time. So
Mhm.
I'm looking for Tyrone. Like, where the heck is Tyrone? But that is what really messed with me, is seeing that they were stuck in the 70s, but it was actually present day. So
And but see,
what
this is where I
bubble?
feel like here's what I feel like that escaped you,
Uh-huh.
because you didn't grow up or stay in, for lack of a better word, a ghetto area all your life. Like, honestly, when I go back to my neighborhood where I grew up, like, it still feels like it's 1980. It still feels the
Mm,
same. And it is because you get stuck. You get stuck. And so I didn't see a change, and I think that's what they were trying to emulate, is that you get stuck in this community and you're still doing things the same from the 70s, the 80s, the 60s. You still, those things still happen. I think that's what they were trying to go for, more so than really pinpointing a time point.
mm. Yeah, it's definitely a time capsule in my hometown. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Like,
a time
if you go
capsule.
back to your hometown,
Yeah, it's a time capsule.
yeah, everything's
Nothing,
still the same.
nothing
Everything's still the
seems to have
same.
the same dry cleaner that my
Mm-hmm.
grandmother used to go to when I was a little girl
Mm-hmm.
is still sitting in the middle of a flipping parking lot.
Unless the area has been gentrified, 9 times out of 10, it's still the same.
I was gonna say it hasn't been gentrified. They ain't even care
Mm-hmm.
enough to go gentrify where I'm from. Um, that's all I'm gonna say about that.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, looking at the whole movie as a whole, like, just seeing everything and how it progressed. So watching them eat, the most cringy part for me was when they ate the chicken. That was
Mm.
the cringy part for me.
See, for me, by the time they got to the chicken, I had already figured out what was going on.
Mm. Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely, it was
By the
cringy.
time they got to the chicken, I already knew what was going on. Because when
When
they
he
were
tasted the powder in
we
in the
tasted it
lab,
in the lab, and you saw him tripping out, I was like, interesting.
he was
And then,
giggling.
yeah. And then by the time they got to the chicken and that one character, Fontaine, started laughing, I said, "Oh no."
Listen, it's the fact that Fontaine started laughing, and when Fontaine started laughing, he's like, "Why in the heck am I laughing?" The
Yeah.
fact that he snapped out of it, like, "Why am I laughing?" He look around and everybody's so happy. Like, give a black person a chicken wing and they're thrilled.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
if you look, where do you find most Popeyes? In the hood.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the hood.
Absolutely.
In
I
the hood.
remember when we first moved here, my sister-in-law was going to school up in Palm Beach Gardens. You know Palm Beach Gardens. It's like
Mm-hmm.
more of the affluent area. And her class was like 45 minutes. So sometimes I would just go and sit in the car, and I was like, I'm not gonna go nowhere because I'll just wait for her. And one time I was hungry and I was like, let me go try to find a little drive-through. I was looking for
Some
anything.
chicken. You was looking for
I was looking.
chicken.
No, I really wasn't looking for chicken. I was looking for anything. I was looking for McDonald's, Wendy's, KFC, Burger King, any of those. Girl, you know how far I had to drive and where I ended up? In the hood. Like, it was not that entire look, and the area is not that big. Like, it's really, Palm Beach Gardens is not a huge city, but they didn't have none of those. None of those places was in that city.
Mm-mm.
Mm-mm.
No,
There was
and
not a place where you can drive up and ask for food out of a window. Nowhere. And I still think it's like that, if I'm not mistaken.
in Orlando, there's an area called Windermere, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's also Dr. Phillips. And those are two areas that you will likely find no fast food, at least not nothing other than Chick-fil-A.
Mm-hmm.
You won't find anything other than
It
Chick-fil-A.
wasn't even, it ain't no
And
Chick-fil-A in Gardens, I don't think.
girl, and I mean it's ridiculous. Everywhere is a sit down place, and they're
But
Publix.
you gotta think about it. Like,
Publix and
why?
Dr.
Why is
Phillips.
that? Why is that?
You can take cooking classes at the Publix and Dr. Phillips.
Why? Why is that? Why is that?
Listen, because they
It's
put us in
systematic.
that bubble and
They
we get
do it
okay
on
with that.
purpose.
Yeah.
They do it on purpose.
Or they put us in a space where you get approved for this housing, and then once you're approved for this housing, now that is your prerequisite for your next location. Well, guess what? If your prerequisite is housing, we don't accept housing. Like, they're not even going to look to consider you of getting out of that area, because they're looking at your prerequisites, which is where you came from and where you're trying to get to. So they're likely not going to accept you if you're coming out of a certain neighborhood or area, and they, for some unknown reason, have the right to not accept you, which is beyond me.
Yeah.
But if we fast forward a little bit for the sake of time, the biggest component for me was the black girl. The black girl, how that man looked her square in the face and told her that they didn't bother to clone her.
Mm-hmm.
All the men were cloned, but they didn't bother to clone her because they said as long as they kept the money coming. Now, for anybody who don't know, I'm sorry because you stayed this long. She was a whore. She was a woman of the night.
She was a prostitute.
She was a prostitute. There you go. She was a prostitute. And so they told her straight up, as long as they kept the money going, they didn't need to clone her because she didn't care about anything else as long as her money kept going, friend.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that sends a message so loud to us as a community.
Yeah.
I really feel like it does, because
then that's a whole different community, just being a melanated woman.
Right. Because like, I've heard far too many times
struggles in that community.
I've heard far too many times where they say things to the effect of Black women lean on, government services to do whatever they need to do. And as long as they can still get their food stamps or their government services or their child support, they don't care.
Yeah.
Don't stop their money and they good.
Yeah, that's terrible.
And that frustrated me really, really bad.
It's terrible, but the most terrible part is that there's so much truth in it.
It is. And that's the part that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I told you about the time I had a student, and when they first start school, we would ask them, like, what are your goals? What are your dreams and aspirations? And the girl just said, I want to learn how to do hair. I don't really want to open a salon or make a whole lot of money because then I'll lose my housing.
I feel like you told me that story.
I was just devastated when she said that. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, you have an opportunity to make basically however much money you want to, because it really is dependent upon your efforts. And you telling me you don't want to because you want to keep your housing?
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's
my biggest. Okay, but let's get, because I want to get to these real facts before we run out of time. My biggest takeaway from They Clone Tyrone was the ending. How they came together despite whatever was going on. They came together as a community. What we talking about? When they came together and united, they took over. And now the experiment is done. It would be cool to see like a little foreshadow of what they were able to become. But it left you kind of feeling hopeful, and then it was like the other communities outside of where they were saw the news broadcast, like showing how all these people had been cloned and stuff like that. And then that was where we found out that this was happening other places other than just this one that the movie focused on. Like, it was happening everywhere, just like you can find a ghetto everywhere. You can find a hood everywhere. You can find an oppressed neighborhood, poor people everywhere. But it was kind of pushing towards it's that way by design. And if you don't want to be a part of that design, you got to come together. You have to come together and buck the system, for lack of better terms.
Big facts.
So let's talk about some instances where the system is being bucked in real life, present day, current events. Child, I don't know. Did y'all see them people on the boat?
Girl, in Alabama?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So if you don't know, Look it up, girl. Alabama, the boat. So the security guard.
Brandon, I'm gonna
was
link it
ba-
down in the description. I'm gonna get that link for
Okay.
y'all before the night's
Get that
over, and I'm
link,
gonna put
put
it
it
there.
in the description. So basically, what was happening, the security guard was telling these people on their little private boat, y'all need to move because there's another boat that needs to dock. They wasn't having it. They probably was, having their fun. They was having their fun. They was probably lit, a little drunk out there on their boat. I know because I live in Florida, so I see all the non-melanated people turned up on the boats. And they decided to jump the security officer who just happened to be melanated. But if you were anywhere in this area, what you saw was about 4 to 6 non-melanated people jumping on this one melanated man. And for once, I am proud of my community because they did not just stand there and let it happen. Baby, the brawl turned inside out. They was coming from the north. They
Wait,
was
friend.
coming from the south.
Can we give it up for the chair one time for the chair? Y'all give it up for the chair.
And I had such conflicted feelings watching this video because I don't for a second condone violence, but I was so happy to see my people come together and stand up for each other.
The way I cheered for that boy swimming across that dirty
What?
water. Do you
that
hear
man
me?
jumped. He was on the boat where the lady was recording from. He jumped off the boat and swam over there to help that security guard.
Homie got in that water. He didn't care. And I don't care what nobody say. I dare somebody to make a black person can't swim joke ever again.
Yeah, after that,
the way
he was Michael Phelps.
Michael Phelps across that water, bruh. The way that man slid across that ocean like Skipper, like Flipper, what's his name? Flipper the dolphin?
The dolphin was
gone. All right. And I
there.
cheered for him so hard. And I'm sorry, but I cheered for him so hard. He was clearly tired when he got up on the dock.
Water. And when I say the people was coming from everywhere, like, no, this is not going down, they came out. And they ain't care nothing about getting arrested. They ain't care nothing about, I don't want to hurt the non-melanated man. They was like, the non-melanated one throw hands, we gonna throw hands.
That part. Listen, you know how on the Breakfast Club, Charlamagne be giving a donkey of the day? I'm telling you, I really hope he gives donkey of the day to the dude that threw the first punch. I really hope he gives donkey of the day to that guy. Because he deserves it.
Yeah, he thought he had one up today, and he did not.
He was the example of not ready. Mess around and find out.
Yes, and I'm sorry. I was happy to see that. I was really happy to see the community come together and not just stand by and watch. One time for the swimmer guy, yes.
Wait, we got the
give it up
today,
for the swimmer.
One time for the swimmer guy.
He swam over there.
Homie was young, but can we talk about the security officer who wanted all the smoke? Because yes, they all jumped on him, but once he got free, you would have thought he would have been like, let me catch my breath. No, homie was ready to swing again.
He was back. He was fighting for
again.
Fight for your right.
Listen, homie said, win, lose, or draw, I fights, okay? And then there was the dude with the chair. So Jimmy put the chair in the chat, and I know the chair is for the guy with the chair. The guy was smacking people left and right, playing straight up ping pong with heads with this chair.
He embodied his WWE obsession. Clearly, you watch wrestling because he was definitely using the fold-up chair.
Homie was killing it with the chair. I think the chair deserves an honorable mention for sure because that chair went through the fire and the storm. I do feel like I was there 2,000% until the very end of the video. And I'm sorry, friend. I know you said you don't condone violence and stuff, but I feel like they was very much so right in this situation, and they should have knocked one extra.
They were, because it wasn't so much violent as them defending somebody else.
Because they knew they could have killed that man and got away with it.
Exactly, because based off of what we've seen, we just keep watching black men be killed. Like, not just abused or beat up, like they are losing their life.
Yep.
So, absolutely. Baby, I was here for it.
But homie, no with the chair at the end, they had just pulled 2 girls off of this non-melanated white woman. And when they pulled them off of her, the girl all she was trying to do was catch her breath. And here he come, wham, just like that right over her head. And I was like, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Far.
That was crazy.
That
That was
was the
crazy.
that was the step too far. So Fred, hit the last couple of hard points and we're gonna head on through.
Okay, Carly Russell. I know y'all we mad at her, but baby, let's keep that same energy. Like they came together, use social media. I hate that people sit around and record stuff, but it helps us so much because there is definitely a light being shined upon what is going on in this community. We need those videos. We need y'all to post them. We need you to share them. Other news, the 1921 Tulsa massacre survivors. We all know about Black Wall Street. We should at this point. Black Wall Street, it was an affluent community, a black neighborhood in Tulsa, Oklahoma, and those survivors are now appealing a dismissed case with the Supreme Court. Like there's still the group is calling for reparations, and like y'all destroyed what this community had built, and then nothing is supposed to happen of it. It's just like, just gets pushed to the wayside. Like, no. You could see, and this is just all we're still giving examples of showing the community is not taking the crap no more. Like it's over. The laying down and turning the other cheek is over. When we did that, y'all didn't appreciate it. So now we going cheek to cheek, toe to toe. Let's go.
Yes, ma'am.
No, I'm gonna let you do the Imani Robertson because I wasn't really clear on that story. But the other thing I wanted to say is, y'all if I don't say this enough, I'm gonna keep saying this. If y'all don't get y'all tails out there and vote, if y'all don't go on these websites and look for what these candidates are about, the Republican presidential candidate Vivek Ramaswamy. So now,
Vivek Ramaswamy.
I'm not even going to go there. Yes, he is a presidential candidate, Republican Party. He came out of his mouth in recent post saying Juneteenth is basically a useless holiday. Like, out of all the freaking holidays that I can think of that are useless, why
Valentine's Day?
Valentine's Day is a freaking joke. But no, it's because they made this one a national holiday. But out of all the holidays that can be considered, like, what's the point? It didn't affect us or whatever his train of thought is. Like, this is now a presidential candidate, so it is a very real fact that if he becomes president, he will aim to take that away. It just became a doggone holiday. You trying to reverse it already? But then let's talk about the fact that he was on his social media celebrating Juneteenth this year.
Right. And then the worst part is, you know why? Because he was on black radio stations promoting black culture and things like that. Mm-hmm. So he made his rounds across black radio stations. So if y'all don't hear nothing else, realize that these people know where to go to find our ears. And they're giving us what they think we want to hear.
What they think we want to hear.
And do not be dumb to what it is that they are really saying.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead, friend. I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm. I'm good. I'm done now. You can tell us about Imani Robertson.
Oh, girl, that. Oof. So listen, the last point that we're going to make, and although it is a sad note, we're going to try and amp it up before we go, okay? So Imani Roberson of Georgia, I'm just going to say of Georgia because it didn't specify.
It definitely say Roberson.
I'm so done. Imani Roberson of Georgia, she went missing at about the same time as Miss Carly Russell, y'all. And Carly Russell did get a lot of publicity, but I think a lot of people missed Imani Roberson. Unfortunately, last week they found her remains, and she is no longer with us. Her family did make a statement in a press conference where they shared their disdain and their stress. And the biggest thing that I took away from that press conference was the fact that the dad looked in that camera and said he has lost 3 children to now violence in the state of Georgia. Y'all, we got to do better. We have to. And it's not even just about that. This is a mother who is no longer going to mother 4 children. 4 children who are going to grow up without a mother and also a father. Because the father is who they are accusing of doing it. And the saddest part of all is the father is not the only suspect. They are expecting that they'll make another arrest here soon. Donnell Anderson, the husband of Imani Roberson, has been charged and arrested with murder in Rockdale County. The sheriff's office announced that on Saturday that they went ahead and were able to arrest him. The thing that we need to understand is that as a community, if we don't look out for each other, who will? And in no way, shape, or form is the Melanin Mindset ever proclaiming that you should make the other areas obsolete. We only speak to what we are familiar with and what we experience. And when you see things like this happening in your neighborhood, in your community, in your world, and you don't open your mouth to speak, you all spent so much time down in the fact that Carly Russell was clowning and just overlooked the fact that this young lady was
Yeah.
missing the entire time.
Yeah.
So it is. Go ahead.
Don't let those negative things discourage you from doing what you know is right. You
Right.
knew it, even though it ended up being whatever, but you knew when you started posting and sharing, you knew that was the right thing to do. Don't lose it. Don't lose it. When you voted for whoever and then you were upset that whoever got in office, don't stop doing it because you felt like it didn't work one time. Like, get out here and mobilize and make a difference. And remember, the new generations are going to do what we're doing. So it's time for us to set that example so that they can do it too. And they'll be able to do it bigger and better. That's the hope. That's the dream.
Absolutely. And my biggest piece of advice for anyone out there who is concerned, like as a Black family raising Black children and things like that, my inspiration ends up being this. Our journey may be a little bit longer, but just know if we continue to push at the rate we're pushing or are willing to push, that our reward will be that much bigger. So don't lose that fire. Don't lose that steam. I need you all to remember that you're absolutely worth the success you desire. And when we keep our mind on the fact that we are worth the success we desire, we will also come to the conclusion that we can reach and achieve said success through hard work and a lot of push. Because sometimes we might have to come together and grab a couple of fold up chairs and knock a couple people upside the head.
You know what? And on that note, we need to go.
I'm just saying, it might have to happen that way. But I'm serious. That's how they ended their Clone Tyrone. They had to go ahead and band together.
They had to.
And they had to go take some things by force.
And mess some stuff up to
Yes,
make the
ma'am.
change.
So I'm going to share a picture here of the beautiful Amani Roberson just so you all can see her face. Do not forget her name. She was a beautiful spirit who had a whole lot more time that she could have spent here with us. And she will no longer be able to do that because of some decisions of her husband. So, yeah. RIP to Amani Roberson. And as a matter of fact, tonight they're having a candlelight vigil in her honor. So if you are on social media, I need y'all to make sure you tune in, show love and support to this family because they definitely need us to come together for them to hold them up in this situation. So y'all, listen, on a bright note, like I said, you're worth everything you desire. Y'all go be great. Have an amazing rest of your week. And we'll see y'all next week. Fair enough. Peace.